I wanted to talk to you about the power of communication with the universe and our soul guides or angels. This is something that many would cast off and feel that it's pure fantasy. But once you begin to look at the human consciousness and the layers that are involved in this illusion that we're living in, you start to realise that we have such a small perspective when it comes to the actual reality of our existence. We exist in a three-dimensional universe, and there are so many more dimensions. So our viewpoint is really much like a horse that wears blinkers. We just have tunnel vision, and it's very hard for us to realise, just as much as like an ant would not be as conscious of the birds in the sky. As humans, we feel because we're superior that we have superior knowledge and we have the best perspective of the world and the universe that we live in. But it's good to remind ourselves of the fact that in many cases we are like the ant, and there's things that are out with our understanding. And when you become more aware of energy and frequency and how energy is in every living thing, and everything that we would deem as non-living has an energy around it and an aura, you begin to realise that energy works alongside other energy and produces a result. And you start to realise the possibilities that you can have when you emit a good frequency and you combine that with positive actions and compassion, good intentions, and obviously avoiding conflict. Or if you find something that is irrational or something that you disagree with or something that has a bad energy, your choice in what frequency you give out to react to that will determine what you will get back in return. And much of the frequencies that we are exposed to are something that we're exposed to for a reason. And it's looking for the opportunity in a difficult situation, or an energy that we aren't familiar with, or an energy that makes us feel a bit uncomfortable, because even people who have positive frequencies and seem to be on a different level in life, they can make us feel uncomfortable or defensive because we feel that it highlights and shines a spotlight on the areas of our life that could do with changing, and we're perhaps not ready to change those aspects, and we are in a state of avoidance. You find that people that are reflecting the best versions of what we want to be, and what we would like to aspire to, can often make us feel a little bit uncomfortable. So the tangent that I've gone off on here does have a point. I wanted to talk about what happens then if you have committed yourself to a good frequency, you have committed yourself to dealing with conflict and dealing with things that you disagree with in a more positive and productive manner without giving out an aggressive energy. And once you've found yourself more comfortable in those states, you will find that your intuition becomes more heightened. And it's something that I've noticed over the years as I've become more more aware and more learned, I suppose. Every day is a learning day. Never going to stop learning and adapting. There's always growth. But even though you feel you might have come a long way, you might notice that your intuition has grown to the point where you almost feel like it's not real. There's something quite supernatural going on, that it almost feels like a movie in a way, because of the instincts that you have, or the lucid dreams, or the messages that you receive through dreams, through numerology, through signs, symbols, through synchronicity, through things that you know aren't a coincidence, through people that have been forced in your path, and there's connections there that are quite uncanny, and you can't describe or understand why someone that you bumped into at the other side of the world, for instance, is actually someone that is connected directly to someone that you know back home. Just a daft example. But what you find is that you can also explore, once your intuition has heightened, you can explore the possibilities of communication with your soul guides and communication with the universe or the angels. And if you're not someone who likes to look at things from a spiritual point of view, if you want science and you need more hard facts, then we know that physics and science is now beginning to realise a lot more about energy and the world that we live in and the dimensions that are there that we're not exposed to. But also the fact that our chakras, for one, our energy centres in our body, most people have believed that there's 7 chakras within the body. But if you wanted to explore it from a different perspective, an ego perspective, you can find that the chakras actually go out with the body to a higher realm. And I almost think of it as a matrix. So whenever I'm feeling like I need a bit of extra support or I'm needing more energy, I'm feeling depleted, I'm not only connecting to the earth and grounding myself, but I'm also just taking my mind up through the clouds and into space and realising that our energy centre and our matrix and our mothership, control centre, whatever you'd want to call it, all stems from there. And whether you want to believe that or not, none of us have actually been able to explain the reason why we're all here. So it's good to be very open-minded with the possibilities, and we know that there's very little known about our galaxies and the universe and the absolute abyss that we are part of, a drop in a vast ocean, basically. And what I started doing when I found my intuition was getting stronger. I started communicating and asking for signs, and these signs were quite intense. Basically, I was getting shown clear examples that I'm being protected and I'm being looked after. And it wasn't coincidence. It was basically within minutes of asking for these signs, 3 different incidents happened, and there was intervention on all 3 of these incidents. And it's almost like they had a sense of humour, whether it was angels, soul guides, other beings and other forms of energy. It's like they were trying to show me what they're capable of. And once I had that possibility opened up to me, and tying it up with things that have happened all through my life, I've had dreams that have come true. I've had premonitions or things just placed into my mind that have been fabricated from nothing, and it has been for a reason. I decided to start communicating more, basically, and looking into shamanic practice and how time doesn't exist. It's just how we have chosen to understand things and understand the concepts, and we do have the ability to communicate and integrate and be part of the past and the future, and we can go back into our pasts and heal from trauma that happened within our past and heal the past versions of ourselves. And we can also go into the future and project what we would like into our future. Some tangent here, isn't it? But there is a point. So I just wanted to share the fact that today was another clear sign for me. I decided to communicate. You can do this either out loud if you're not shy. I do it mostly within my own head. But you can talk out loud if you like, on your own, in the car, going somewhere, before you get up in the morning, before you go to bed. And I think the first thing to do is thank them for the ways that they've already integrated and already had intervention and already helped you in your past that you've been unaware of. I feel like giving gratitude is a good thing, to give out that good energy. And then if you are in a good zone and you're not harming others and you're not filled with ego and ulterior motives, and you are in a good zone and you're just looking for a bit of assistance, you can ask for assistance in whatever manner you're looking for, and just see what happens. Because today I found that everything turned around really quickly. The appointment that I thought was going to be really late too, it felt like time had slowed down, and I found the place. A parking space was very easy. It was all surprisingly very very laid back, very relaxed, and the outcome from what I was attending was just absolutely the opposite of what was expected, and everything that I asked for was given to me. So I just wanted to put it out there. Whether you believe in other dimensions or other existences or spirituality, if you want to give it that label, just try it yourself. Start to ask for assistance and see what opens up and what signs you get. And when you start getting those signs, start to wonder why you've been given a sign. Is it an affirmation that what you're doing is good and to continue? Or is it a little sign that you have to step back, reevaluate, and look within? Because often in situations where we're having a bit of difficulty with other people and relationships, we often look at the reasons why they're making us feel a certain way, but we maybe don't look at the reasons in ourselves why we would interpret it, or immediately just look at the ways that they should change rather than the ways that we should change. Sometimes you get signs for a good reason, for your own growth. If you're interested in any more, then I would suggest reading up on this. I think a good way to go is shamanic theories. Alberto Villoldo has a book, and he has one called Healing the Past and Mending the Future, which goes into some of that. But also you have so many other figures, I guess, that promote inner growth and healing, and talking with angels and knowing how to interpret your dreams. There's a whole mind-blowing world out there for you to explore, and I hope that you will give it a try and see what happens.